Hello, good morning, church. I have a small testimony for you, and it's actually my conversion story, which was actually 3 years after I got baptized. Well, I actually shouldn't say conversion, but it was a period where I really went to the next level with God. And I am a third or fourth generation Adventist, and a problem that a lot of us have when we're born in the church is complacency, where you feel like since you already belong to the correct church, you're automatically saved. And that's certainly where I was in my late teenage years. I was baptized when I was 16. And although I was sincere at that time, I still kind of had one foot in, one foot out. I know many of you can relate to that story. And I was going to, at that time, our family was going to a church in California. I grew up in Southern California. And that church was experiencing its peak years at that time. And the pastor at that time was very dynamic, excellent speaker, and he could sing on top of it, and his brother could play any instrument in front of him. And he was the music director. So between the two of them, they would put on quite a show for us every Sabbath. And people were just flocking to the church. So I'm kind of riding this wave with the church, and I'm thinking, I'm okay. I'm doing pretty good spiritually, you know? And so I go away to college in Northern California when I was 18, and in my mind, I thought I was doing great. You know, I wasn't taking any drugs or drinking or smoking. I found a local church that I was going to, and although it was not, it was a secular institution, I was still keeping the Sabbath at the time, and so I thought, I'm okay, I'm doing everything the way I'm supposed to. And so I come home after my freshman year, and basically my spiritual bubble just completely burst, and everything that I was hiding behind was suddenly not there anymore. And shortly after I came home that summer, the pastor at the time was forced to resign due to some indiscretions. And the church was completely shattered by the news, and also by some of the things he was doing subsequent to that. And the conference had to get involved, and it was a mess. And I was 19 at the time, and I realized it was a big wake-up call for me. And I suddenly realized that I was not okay with God. I definitely felt exposed, because what I realized was I was hiding behind my parents' religion. I was hiding behind my pastor's religion. I was hiding behind this, wonderful church that was, so dynamic. And when all those things were suddenly removed, I felt exposed. I felt my sins exposed, and I felt afraid. Kind of like when Adam and Eve perceived that they were naked for the first time, something like that. And I realized I'm not okay with God. I'm not right with God. And it was definitely a period of growth for me where I decided to do something about that. And so I definitely turned that corner with God and decided to basically fall in love with Him all over again. And it became a two-way relationship. It became more than just the knowledge of God's love and thinking that's great, but He wants the love to come back to Him. And so I experienced that two-way relationship, and I'm suddenly concerned, and I cared about what God thought of me and what He wanted for me and from me. And so for me, that summer was a great period of growth. Unfortunately, I saw some same people perceive that same situation and go the other way, and were disillusioned and left the church. And I say that to say, just as a lesson for all of us, that multiple people can perceive the same situation and go different paths. And it's up to us to choose what we're going to do with the information that God has presented to us. Just like the sun, it's the same sun, and that heat can melt butter or harden clay. And it's up to you what material you're going to be. And even though God's love is the same and He's trying to tell you something, it's up to you to decide what material you're going to be. And have your heart melt in that love and bask in that glory, or unfortunately for some, they can choose a different path. And so after that high of that summer, well, it was a trial, but at the same time, I came through that trial more refined in his character. And so I'm coming off of that summer, and a lot of times you realize the closer you get to God, some of the people that are closest to you end up challenging that relationship now. And so I'm going back to school. I should also say previously, my first year, kind of that 1 foot in, 1 foot out situation where I was doing all of the right things, but at the same time, my heart wasn't yearning for God. It was still yearning for what the world had to offer. So I was still dabbling, I was justifying it in my mind, where I still wanted to go where everybody was going, even though I was deciding not to drink. So even though I was going to the campus parties and the frat parties and the clubs, in my mind I thought, well, I'm not drinking, so I'm just kind of there to observe. I'm just having a good time. So that was how I was rationalized in my mind. After that summer, I decided to not straddle the fence anymore and to basically put my money where my mouth was. If I'm really going to reflect God's character, then if I can't imagine Jesus standing right next to me and being perfectly comfortable with what's going on, then I had no business being there or doing that. So I'm coming back now to school, and I'm realizing that a lot of my Christian friends and Adventist friends who was going with me to the same places were now having issues with me because I no longer was going to go. And I wasn't going to do that anymore. And I was surprised because I thought, oh, I'm going to take them along with me and we're all going to... No. We all kind of have our own journeys to walk through. And although I was trying to explain to them what I had experienced, basically we all have to experience those situations for ourselves and go on that journey with God on our different timetables. So once I got a hold of that security of salvation born out of my own relationship with God, not based on other people's relationship with God, that's all that mattered, and that's all I needed to hold on to. So it was just the yearning just went away. It just no longer appealed to me. And so that is my story of how I got to that next level with God. And as I was kind of writing this testimony down, I was thinking, this is not a very exciting story. Is there any way to dress this up in a little bit? But you know what? I thought about it, and God also told me, you know what? Every time, even though it may not be exciting and flashy, which is what a lot of people want to see sometimes, and churches want the show, and as I realized that what our church was doing back at that time was worshiping the show. And so when the pastor went, so went the church, because a lot of times their own relationship with God was neglected, and they were just there for the show. So I realized, and God was telling me, you know what, every time somebody is moving closer to me and I see a heart turn towards me, that is exciting. That is the most exciting thing in the whole universe. And so I think a lot of us can relate to that story in terms of it's not the most flashy thing, but at the same time, it is, because God would have come down to save every single one of you if you were the only person on this planet. So I just want to share with you that God can use any circumstance for His glory, even tragic circumstances, to bring you out of your comfort zone and your complacency and to bring you closer to Him if you choose. Thank you.